These manifestation gurus forget is there's Bible verses that say if your heart ain't right, your pockets will have holes in them and the money will just flow out. You won't understand. They can sow seed all day long, but their pockets will be empty. The Bible makes it clear that Israel's shoes didn't wear out for 40 years. God sustained them for 40 years. So a lot of these new age gurus try to tell you that you can name it, claim it, you can do whatever because it's the universal law. Well, there's another law that God is looking at your heart and he's adjusting it. So if you're greedy, you're gonna have holes in your pocket. If your heart's right and you let it flow through you to bless others, yeah, that's gonna work. But they leave God out of the equation. But you can actually see it. There's many verses in Proverbs, Psalms, Deuteronomy, Genesis. The children of Israel were blessed. There's another verse that says, not by power, not by might, but by my spirit. So God will make a way of escape. God will make a way. God will manifest and give you the desires of your heart, but your heart's got to be right. Because if your heart ain't right, you're gonna reflect back selfishness and selfish people. And if you reflect back selfish people, what's going to happen? They're not going to be on your team. They're not on your team. They're against you. So I just want to make it clear that it's all about the heart. It's all about the motive. It's all about your intent, your heart intent. God is here to work on your heart. God put you here to work on your heart. God is in your life, put it this way, I'll say it this way, I said it wrong. God is in your life to work out your heart condition, make it a soft heart. And if you go down the wrong path, he'll stop you if you're his. God scourges every son he receives. So let's say you're sowing this seed, or you're sowing a seed that's contrary to his will. You think he's going to bless that? No, he ain't going to bless that. So all the new age gurus leave God and their heart out of the equation. Some of them will say, well, get your heart right. Well, you can't get your heart right in your own power. You have to have God's power to get it right. You need a new heart. You need to be born again. So to manifest, I listened to all of them. I've studied them all as much as I could. And I did not read Oprah Winfrey's book, but I already pretty much know what it is just by listening to her talk. But she's part of the Illuminati. The devil's going to give them, if they're part of the New World Order, the Illuminati, the 666 Cube, hive mind, yeah, they're going to get anything they want, and they'll think they did it. That's what the devil wants them to believe, that they're gods. If you believe you're God, yeah, the devil's going to let you manifest down here because he's running this system. If you believe you're God, he'll let you manifest. Because that's the trick. He'll move people around, but those people that come around, they don't really care about you. They don't care about your eternal soul. They want to take you to hell with them. And God will let you. He'll send messengers to pull you out of the path of death. It's actually a path of self-worship, which is death. Well, how are you going to worship a clay body? If you worship a human, you're sick. So it's very clear that God looks on your heart, and if your heart ain't right and you're trying to manifest money, he said he's going to have holes in your pockets and the money's just going to fall through. Seriously. It's all about the heart, people. Has nothing to do with money, has nothing to do with stuff, has nothing to do with image, and has nothing to do with outward show. It's all about the heart. And so I want you to think about, it's easy to fall into these traps of these gurus, how to manifest anything. One of them is, what was that one guy's name? Goddard. What was his name? Something Goddard. You got Goddard, you got, there's a lot of them. Sadhguru, you got Alan Watts, you got, what's that one lady's name? You got Oprah Winfrey, you got, there's Aaron, there's another guy named Aaron something. And then there's a few other ones that are kind of popular. What's that one lady's name? I don't think she's a name it, claim it, but there's a lot of Pentecostal name it, claim it, people. And then there's a lot of people to the other extreme. See, yeah, it's a principle. It works. You reap what you sow, so you better sow what you want to reap. That's a principle, but you better make sure your heart's right, and you know it's God that gives you anything. God, it's His world, it's His universe, it's His creation. Put it that way. And if He blessed Israel, He's going to bless you. He won't let His saints beg bread, the Bible says. But if He has to take away stuff to chastise you and discipline you, He will. Sometimes you need pain. No pain, no gain, right? Somebody says, well, if you give, it shall be given, pressed down, shake it. Yeah. But are you giving to get? Or are you just giving to give? What's your motive? What's your heart motive? What's the heart motive? Are you giving to be seen? Or are you just giving to give? Will God bless you if you give with the right heart? Yeah. It's so obvious, it's not even funny that when they leave God out of the equation, God sends them into strong delusions, and they think they're their own God. They think they did it. And all you have to do is read about the children of Israel. The children of Israel walked around for 40 years, and their shoes didn't wear out. The ones who went against Moses, the earth swallowed them up. 20,000. This is a great example. 20,000 died. The earth swallowed them up because they went against God's plan. And so if you're not in God's will, you think He's going to bless you. The devil might let you. But look at all the criminals and all. They're going against God, and they end up in jail. They end up committing suicide and all kinds of stuff. Look at all the Hollywood stars. They end up depressed and on drugs and drinking and stuff like that. It's really the equation is God's equation, and the God equation is about your heart. When it comes to 3D, it's all about your heart. Functioning down here, this is like a script, and every day the story is about your heart, to get your heart right. And God is testing you, and God is teaching you how to manage your ship, whether it's a business or a home or a whatever kind of ship it is, your body ship. He's testing you to see how serious you are. And I understand where people get mad at some Christians where they're not doing anything, they're not trying to invest, they're not trying to sow good seed, they're just trusting God without renewing their mind. I understand whether that looks like laziness and that looks like cowardness. It looks like a coward. It looks like somebody who just gave up. And I understand how hard life can be. And I understand people get depressed and people get hit and beat up with a bunch of stuff. But a lot of times we do it to ourselves. If we have too much stuff going on, it's our own fault. We have to slow it down, reduce it down to the basics, and start over. If you got too much stuff happening, lot of it's our own fault. We try to do too much. And what happens when you try to do too much? You forget to read your Bible. You forget to pray. You forget to think about God and His Word. You forget that it's all from Him. He's the source. Instead of a worship service to God, you move into a worship of mammon. You worship your car, your house, or stuff, And once you start to worship mammon, and notice the word notice the phonics of the word mammon. Mam and man. Mam, man. Sounds like mam and man. Mammon. Why would you worship the creation instead of the creator? And that's the trap. And that's the trap God is trying to keep you from falling into. Because it's idolatry. Why would you worship that piece of metal right there? Look at that. It's just a piece of metal. It's nothing. And the tires are just pieces of rubber. It's really worth nothing. The only reason it's worth something is because man puts a value on it. But as soon as our economy crashes or we have a nuclear war or something, that piece of metal ain't worth nothing. The reason all the nations are working together is because they know it's a big lie that most of this stuff's worthless. It's only worth something because people think it's worth something. It goes back to trading. If you are good at trading, if you're good at hunting rabbits, and somebody else is good at cooking, so you say, well, I'll trade you this rabbit if you cook it for me. I mean, I'll give you 2 rabbits if you cook one for me, Really, there's no value in this place. It's just dirt and sand and metal. It's only value because you need to eat. You need to eat and you need a place to sleep. Some kind of shelter. I see people throwing stuff off the side of the road. It's like, why would you throw $200 worth of wood off the side of the road? Because it's not really worth anything to them anymore. Why would you put a $200 refrigerator or stove or a washing machine off the side of the road? Because it's not worth anything to them anymore. It can be repaired, but they don't want to spend the time. The worth of something is in the eye of the beholder, Crypto goes up and it goes down. It goes way up and it goes way down. Who says it's worth anything? Only people is the high demand that they try to put on it, Up and down, the sine wave. Oh, it's worth $1 million. Oh, it's worth $10. You see it with crypto. 1 minute it's worth $10, next minute it's worth 1,000. I mean, come on. And the competition out there is off the roof. Can you imagine all the advertisement they're trying to put out for these different coins that they create to get people to think it's worth something when it's really just digital money. It's really not worth anything. Something's only worth something if you think it's worth something. I've heard tell of people make money off of dirt. They clean some dirt, turn it into a business, learn how to clean dirt and turn it into a business.